Hi everyone, thank you for watching. This is going to be a video to address the anonymous question that I received through the link in my bio. So before I begin, I just wanted to quickly show you how to find that link if you're unaware or just have not heard about this yet. So if you go to my Instagram for Elements Astro, there is a link at the top to find all of my links. So there's one separately for my articles on Substack, so you can find those there. Those are the long form articles of some of the major transits that I address on Instagram. Then the links at the top, the first link is the link to send the questions. You can also find the link to subscribe to Substack there as well, the link to get a free birth chart, the link to my tip jar, as well as the Pluto and Aquarius YouTube video, and a link to some Spotify playlists that I've made as well. So those links are all there, as well as my About Me on the next page, and then another link to my YouTube. So all of those links can be found there at the top of my Instagram bio. If you click on the link to the Astro questions, it will take you to this page. The only question that is required here is the question that you have. So if your question is not specific to your birth chart, you don't have to fill any of your birth information in. You can leave all of that blank and just submit your question. This form is anonymous, so your email is not required, and it's if it autofills, it's not shared. So I won't know who you are if you submit a question, and I won't share any of your personal information when I go over your question in a video or in a post. So feel free to share however much or however little you would like to share in your question. Yeah, so just wanted to go over that really quickly and say thank you to anyone who has submitted a question so far. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Thank you guys. Yeah. So this question from this person says, can you see or do you know of any changes of my relationship after nearly 7 years, and will be moving back home soon? So I did redact that location just to kind of make it a little more anonymous. But I'm not sure how familiar this person is with their natal chart, so I just wanted to address first kind of their big three and then big six as well before kind of getting into it. So the big three, as some of you will know, is your sun, moon, and rising signs. So the chart of this person, they have their sun in Taurus here at 27 degrees. Their moon is here in Aries at 21 degrees in the 4th house. Sun is in the 5th house. And their rising is in Capricorn at 20 degrees, of course, in the 1st house. The big six makes up the other kind of inner personal planets. The first is going to be Mercury, which is here in Gemini at 0 degrees in the 6th house. They've got their Venus in Aries at 14 degrees in the 4th house, and then Mars is in Leo in the 8th house. This person was born at night, so they have a night chart, which means the sun is below the horizon in this chart. This is kind of the horizon line, this middle line that goes across the chart here. So I just wanted to point that out because in a night chart, the planet Saturn here is going to be kind of the most challenging planet. So based on if you have a night or a day chart, that is kind of significant. So just wanted to point that out because the first thing that I kind of noticed when pulling up this chart to look into this question was that this person just recently finished their Saturn return. So around the age of 28 to 30, you'll have your first Saturn return. It comes every 28 to 30 years. So this person has their Saturn at 29 degrees of Aquarius. So this is in the 2nd house. Excuse me. So this Saturn return would have began back around 2020 to 2021, but Saturn is at a late degree, so they may not have felt this starting until around 2022 and to 2023. This second house rules over kind of income, finances, possessions, so the Saturn return would have been kind of focusing on these things. Saturn is about boundaries and kind of helps us to become more strict and adult-like in whatever area of our charts it's moving through. So there may have been kind of some tough adult lessons around these topics during this time. So in addition to that, Saturn was opposing the 8th house, which rules over joint finances, so finances that you share with a partner or another close relationship, maybe like a business partner. It can rule over debts, taxes, inheritances. It also is a house of intimacy, so a lot of things kind of covered here. Can also be the psyche as well, so more of a deep kind of psychological house as opposed to the second house, which is more about the income you earn on your own, and this is more about a partner's income. So I think both of these kind of topics would have been relevant at this time with Saturn opposing the 8th house. So I bring that up because these things could have potentially caused maybe a strain in a close relationship during the past couple of years, leading up to the current time. So that's the first thing I want to point out. Then we have Chiron here in the 8th house. Chiron is not always talked about in popular astrology. It's lesser known, but Chiron represents some of our deepest wounds. So it's called the wounded healer. It represents kind of where we can experience significant growth through healing. And in the natal chart, it's in Leo, but it's currently transiting through Aries. So let me pull up the transit chart. I'm just going to make sure that the birth info doesn't show. Right, so here's the natal chart on the inside. It may look a little confusing to those of you who aren't used to looking at these circle charts, but here's Chiron in the 8th house natally, and in the transit chart on the outside, it's currently transiting the 4th house, so it's making an aspect because it's currently in Aries. It's in a fire sign as well, so Aries and Leo, both fire signs, and if you'll look, it's at 16 degrees. In the natal chart, it's at 18 degrees, so it's pretty close by degree as well in an aspect. So in addition to this trine aspect to the natal Chiron, it's also what we call conjunct Venus. So it's touching the natal Venus, and it's conjunct the natal moon. So sometimes these deep wounds of Chiron, they can go unnoticed. So they can represent wounds from childhood or other past wounds that maybe we don't realize that we have until transits like this activate them. So because of these current transits with the natal Chiron, Venus, and the moon, it's possible that you're experiencing an opportunity to heal after some of these wounds were triggered again over the past year. So with your Saturn return affecting maybe a relationship with your partner related to finances, and then you've got this Chiron transit happening as well. You may have had some negative experiences in a romantic relationship, as the relationship was potentially a trigger for the wounds because it's here in this 8th house. So you may have felt unappreciated, or like you were asking for love or respect at a time when you really needed it most, with Saturn here kind of feeling kind of heavy opposing that Chiron. So this may have been especially hard on your relationship if you also felt, insecure about financial matters with this financial with these financial houses being involved. So it's possible you're experiencing an opportunity to heal through those issues right now. If you have children, you may have dedicated your time and attention to them as a way to distract yourself or to feel worthy if you are seeking, deeper intimacy or trust with your partner at this time. One crucial thing for you to know as part of this wound is that you are worthy of love, adoration, and respect. So often with this natal Chiron and Leo, we feel that we need to prove that we're worthy of love or adoration, and that's not the case. So that is something to work through kind of with this Chiron wound. So that may be something that's coming up for you now with several transits kind of triggering that. In addition to this, the transiting North Node, which is the also referred to as the North Node of Fate, and also represents kind of where the moons are transiting in their eclipse cycle, is currently in your 10th house of career. So you'll see the transiting nodes here. So you've got, sorry, I think I may have said that backwards, but you've got the North Node here in your 4th house and the South Node in your 10th house. So so the South Node is in your 10th house and the North Node is in your 4th house. So the 4th house represents home, family, private life. It can represent your relationship with your parents or just topics relating to parents and parenthood in general. Your 10th house represents career, your public life. So these things can come up with North Node transits or eclipses in these areas. So you may notice big shifts in these areas during this time. Okay, so you'll see that the North Node here is currently transiting between your Moon and Venus. The nodes are the one thing in the chart that does kind of move backwards, so it's a bit confusing. Most of the planets will move counterclockwise through the chart, but the nodes do move clockwise. So this node will be moving closer to your Venus as it moves clockwise. It's currently just about to, just in between your Moon and Venus. So the North Node can represent fate or destiny and represents the direction in life that we're being called to. So sometimes transits of the North Node can be a bit scary or challenging if we're resistant to change. But the North Node on your Moon in your 4th house of home can definitely point to a change of residence. So with the big shifts that are occurring, especially around the eclipses, that may be a time that you might look to see that occurring with that move. While the North Node is in Aries, you may be more assertive and independent about following a new path. So relating to your purpose in life or in your relationships. So while it's lining up with your Moon and Venus here, you may be aligning kind of your purpose and your destiny with your emotions and what you're kind of looking for in your relationships. So if you've been letting things go in the past or kind of letting things slide, this can definitely be a time where you stand your ground and say, enough is enough, and really take action towards where you're heading in life and where you want to be going. There is a total solar eclipse in April. That will be pretty important. That's going to be, I think, April 8th. Let's see. Just double check. So April 8th, April 9th, around that time there will be a solar eclipse. So this is going to be a total solar eclipse that will be pretty important. The eclipses can mark major events in our lives when they come close to certain points in our natal charts. So this eclipse is going to be around 19 degrees of Aries. So when they come close to certain points in our natal charts, they can kind of trigger events. So the eclipses change signs approximately every 1.5 to 2 years. So for about the past year, they've been in the sign of Aries and Libra. So you may have already been experiencing some kind of triggering events, especially in relation to career or your public life, kind of your direction in life, as well as where you're living, home, your parents. Especially, those kind of topics can be coming up over the past year with the eclipses in these signs. But the eclipse in April will be at 19 degrees, which will be kind of sandwiched in between these points in your natal chart that have been kind of interacting with Chiron and the North Node. So it's kind of reactivating everything that's been going on here for you. So the energy of the eclipses usually last about 6 months. So you can see this play out gradually over the next 6 months after this occurs in April. But it's not uncommon to see some major events happen around the time of the eclipse as well. So I believe it's more likely to happen around May, when Mars, which is currently here in Aquarius, moves into Aries. So over the next couple of months, Mars is going to move from Aquarius into Aries. And when it does that, it's going to help with, action and assertion. So Mars is the planet of action and assertion. So it's going to come into contact with the North Node and Chiron here. So these points or planets here don't move very quickly compared to Mars. So they're going to stay in relatively the same place here over the next couple of months. And then Mars is going to approach and kind of line up here. And it's all going to kind of happen and touch your Venus and Moon at the same time. So you're going to have a lot of energy kind of occurring in your house of home, family, and private life around mid to late May. So that's going to be happening then. When Mars meets with the North Node and your Venus, it's going to be giving you the courage to maybe take a risk and make a change. So if that's what feels right for you at that time, you may feel, ready to make that change. So as a Taurus Sun and a Leo Mars, those are both fixed signs. So it may be hard to kind of take action or make a change sometimes as fixed signs. So sometimes they're resistant to change. It may be scary, but with Mars kind of coming in here and meeting with these planets, you may feel ready to just take the leap. Uranus, the planet of change and unexpected surprises, has been in Taurus since 2018. So this is Uranus here. It's at 19 degrees. In May, it will be approaching your sun pretty closely. So by May, I think it's going to be around 23 degrees. So it'll be at 23, your sun is at 27. So that's a pretty close conjunction for you to start feeling that Uranus energy. Uranus moves pretty slowly. So this transit of Uranus conjunct your sun only occurs about every 84 years. So this is a once-in-a-lifetime transit, and this transit will most likely be encouraging you to make some surprising changes or do something unpredictable. So you've got Mars, the planet of action and assertion, meeting up with the North Node, which is destiny, fate, kind of moving in the direction that your life is supposed to go, meeting up with your Moon, which is emotions, Venus, which represents, kind of how you want to feel loved. All of this happening at the same time. So it's important to emphasize here that we always have free will. Your partner's chart and personal transits will also play a role in this, because just like the current transits of the planets are affecting your natal chart, they will also be affecting your partner's chart as well. So, as well as the chart of your relationship with your partner. So, there is a chart, specific to the time that you and your partner began your relationship as well. So, all of that has an influence. But from looking at your transit, it appears that if any changes will be happening in your relationship, you will be the one initiating them. So you've got a lot of initiating energy with Mars and Uranus making changes, and then Chiron kind of encouraging you to do some healing. So a lot of things kind of happening, especially with the eclipses. So I believe there's a level of fate to astrology, but we still always have free will. So the planets can exert their influence on us, but we always have the choice in how to respond. It's good to be aware of the energy, but definitely don't fixate on it so much that you forget to live in the moment. So I hope that helps. I do think that if any changes are happening, you're the one making them. So that's kind of what I see here. Those are the energies that stand out the most to me. But I wish you all the best, Taurus, and don't forget, you're worthy of love and adoration just for being who you are. So thank you. Thanks for your question. Hi everyone, thank you for watching, and thank you to the person who submitted this question. Please, if you have any questions like this or general astrology questions, please submit those through the link in my Instagram bio. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on the podcast, you can find that link on my Instagram, 4 Elements Astro. And there's also a link there as well to a tip jar. So if you find the work that I'm doing beneficial in any way, I don't do any paid readings, so submitting any kind of donation of any value is really helpful for me. I'm trying to kind of save up to buy a new program for readings as well as new equipment. I cannot currently do videos with the mic and me on the screen at the same time without kind of doing a lot of technical work. So I would really like to be able to save up to provide you some video content for readings rather than having to do just audio only with the screen recordings. So any kind of support you can give me through subscribing to Substack or even just interacting with my posts, really helpful and really appreciated. And yeah, keep submitting questions and letting me know what you think. I really appreciate all of your feedback and engagement. It means so much to me. So yeah, follow me over on Instagram and YouTube and Substack. It's 4 Elements Astro on all of my social media networks. So thanks.